Right, I'm very pleased to present my colleagues from Vehicle Safety Engineering, Mr. Leclerc and Dr. Kubica. They are going to be your presenters tonight. They're going to talk about integral safety and driver assistance systems, and this is going to be sort of the theoretical foundation of what you're going to do and experience tomorrow at our proving ground. Now, we've been waiting long enough, I think, so without further ado, let's go. Our first speaker is Mr. Leclerc. Over to you. Thank you, Mr. Hoffmann. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ritz-Carlton. I'm Christoph Leclerc, and I'm responsible for vehicle safety at Volkswagen. Now, what's the plan? Tomorrow, as Mr. Hoffmann said, we'll go to our proving ground, the small proving ground. This is what we call this place up there. And we're going to show you various driver assistance systems, the systems which we're going to talk about briefly tonight. Now, just quickly, let me explain. Here you can see the Volkswagen Research and Development section. Back there, you can see our proving ground, the various test tracks. This is where we are going to test the cars tomorrow. Now, let me ask first, what is our motivation? Our boss said that Volkswagen should be the large-scale brand that stands for innovation and engineering prowess. And how are we going to achieve that goal? On this slide you can see a number of buzzwords, and we're going to use these buzzwords to fill this theory with life. I'll briefly talk about the boxes highlighted in blue, and later on my colleague Mr. Kubica is going to talk about safety in particular. Now, one important issue on our agenda, obviously, is CO2. And that is why we launched the Volkswagen XL1. You and your colleagues have already seen it, and it's going to make serious production, if on a small scale. This car uses state-of-the-art technology. And because of that, the weight is only 795 kilograms. And this is the really good thing about this car, this excellent fuel consumption figure of less than 1 liter. And this means 21 grams of CO2 per kilometer, which I think this is an excellent beacon for Volkswagen. On the other hand, we also try to expand into new vehicle segments, offering new things to our customers. And this is just one representative of our attempts in this regard. The Tygoon, you and your colleagues have already seen it. This is an SUV, but in terms of its dimensions, actually it's a rather compact car. So in actual fact, this vehicle opens up a new vehicle segment in its own right. So this is also a new thing. You can also, and even at this point, open up new car segments. So we've got innovations, innovative concepts, and these concepts include lightweight design and many other things, and this is what defines our brands. Now, having said that, you know, of course, that the Volkswagen Group comprises a number of brands, and these brands have a division of labor. Each brand specializes in a particular field of activity, a field in which they excel. Let me just give you 3 examples. Volkswagen is leading the way technologically speaking, in terms of fuel consumption. The example is the XL1. Audi specializes in lightweight design, and thirdly, Porsche stands for efficient sports cars. So we share our competencies across all brands, and everyone in the group has thus access to state-of-the-art innovations. This way of proceeding means that we can democratize the innovations created by the Volkswagen Group. This is exactly what we want to do. Initially, things might be rather expensive and they might only be available in the luxury car segment, but we want to drill down to the lower car segments and democratize these innovations. And so you'll even get innovations even in the Mark 7 Golf and driver assist systems that might previously only be used in an Audi A8 or a Touareg. Now this is only possible because we developed the modular transverse kit. All these brands use the modular transverse kit, and I'm not talking about a platform only. These kits also include modules such as engines, body and trim, the chassis, axles, braking systems, etc., and also electrical and electronic systems. We share the same architecture. And that way we can ensure that everyone in the Volkswagen Group can use the innovations we've come up with. And this is basically a summary of what I've just said. We work on things together and then we share them. And now it's time to switch over to the presentation on vehicle safety systems, and I'd like to hand over to Dr. Stefan Kubica. He's going to walk you through the various systems that you're going to see live tomorrow. Thank you for your attention for the time being. Welcome. I may also welcome you very warmly. My name is Stefan Kubica. I'm responsible for airbag electronics and cooperative safety at Volkswagen, and I look forward to giving you an overview of the challenges that we are facing and how we are going to meet them. I'm going to give you an overview, and tomorrow you'll be hearing about the details. So this is just a rough overview. The challenges we are facing are more and more urbanization, more and more traffic, especially in cities, an increasing number of cars, demographic change, drivers are becoming older and older, and they want to experience more safety and comfort, and we try to find comprehensive solutions to these challenges, and especially in two areas. Number one, ease of use. We try to support the driver in tiring or difficult maneuvers. The vision is that at some point in time you get to your destination fresher than you started. I'm talking about stop and go, bumper to bumper situations, difficult parking situations, anything that might stress you as a driver. And this is where we want to lend our support. In fact, this is one of Volkswagen's core competencies. The other thing is safety. Here we try to intervene when we think we are better or our system is better than the driver, to put it bluntly. In a critical situation, we try to defuse the situation. It says here integrated safety on the slide. There are active safety functions. They try to prevent an accident, and this is the most difficult thing and always the best thing. But there's also passive safety, and when we can't avoid a collision, the intention is to mitigate the consequences. And integral safety is in between. We try to get the best of both worlds by using passive systems such as sensors and electronic systems. We network them, and that way we can raise even more protection. Pre-crash or proactive passenger protection is just one example. And what do we need to implement such functions? The car needs to know exactly what's happening around it. It needs dynamic information, and we use sensors to provide that information. This is nothing new. We've been doing that for many years. Our competitors have been doing that for years. But as Mr. Clare said, we try to democratize these systems by offering them in the lower segments. What systems are these? Well, number one, ultrasonic sensors. You will know about them. We use them mainly for parking applications. Tomorrow you will see that there are other applications as well. There are sensors all around the car. They're very robust, and they're offering lots and lots of different functionalities, but they are limited to the immediate vicinity of the car. If you want to see further, we have to use radar technology. We can scan the area in front of and behind the car, quite far actually, on the front end and the rear end, and we can use that information for various functions. I'll talk about that later. Plus, there are cameras on the car. This is also a well-known feature, and here we use cameras in precisely those places where we can network them to establish new functionalities. The advantage is that you can retrieve object-related information by processing the images, and that way you can process and gain a lot of information and use it to inform the driver. This is a rather new technology, and in fact Volkswagen is one of the trailblazers here, and that is the Wi-Fi system. It's a special automotive Wi-Fi which can only be used for communication between cars. This is a standard that's been elaborated by various car makers, and this is also part of an EU protocol 802FP, so you can peek between cars, across crests, around the curve, around the bend, around houses. You can exchange information several times a second, dynamics information, how fast am I driving, am I accelerating, what's the steering angle, etc., etc. And that allows you to detect dangerous situations even before the driver has actually seen that situation. It's a new technology that's mainly driven by Volkswagen. Then production, it's not a sensor, it's rather an actuator. The idea here is to project light ahead of the car to make the driver's life easier. I'm going to explain that function in greater detail later on. So this is an overview of all our sensors and systems, and we try to interconnect them smartly, and that generates a lot of additional benefit and value for our customers and driver. Moving on to autonomous emergency braking with pedestrian detection. The idea here is to protect the weakest road users, namely cyclists and pedestrian, because they just don't have a crumpling zone. We use cameras and the radar system to identify and detect pedestrians. If the driver does not react to the pedestrian, he will get a warning and then a visual sign, in this case an LED light strip, to prepare the driver, and if the driver still doesn't respond, then the vehicle is going to intervene by itself. Quick braking comes in very useful here. It's actually an electromechanical brake booster that allows you to stop the car a lot faster than with a conventional braking system, because it builds up pressure very quickly, and that reduces the braking or stopping distance of the car. Rear proactive occupant protection. Perhaps you've heard about the proactive occupant protection before. We've been using that in series production for several years now. When the ESC kicks in or the driver brakes very hard, we know that a collision is imminent. We try to precondition the car to protect the driver from the collision. But here, this is an extended function. It also includes a rear portion, a radar-based system that scans the area behind the car, and should there be a rear-end collision, we try to prepare the car and the driver. That means we close the windows and the sunroof. The hazard warning lights come on in order to warn the approaching vehicle. Perhaps that driver can still react and respond. We also pre-tension the seat belts, so we protect the driver in his or her seat. So should there be an accident, we try to reduce whiplash and other injuries, neck-related injuries, and we can do that thanks to this radar-based system.
The emergency assist.
Now the emergency assist, it also takes into account the demographic change. People become older and older, and frequently it happens an older person has got a burnout, has got a heart attack, loses consciousness, and it's no longer possible to drive the car. Usually this is a very dangerous situation for him or herself, but also for the others on the road, and this is where this function comes in. The system will notice that the driver is no longer in a position to drive the car and gives alerts, and if the car notices that the driver does not respond after some time, then ACC is being used. That is, lane assist is being used to bring the car to keep the car in the lane and then bring it to a complete stop. So in order to take all the danger out of the situation. Then the rear traffic alert. This is an interesting function, particularly in cities. If you have to park your car while other cars are passing by, we've got rear sensors at the rear, and this will monitor while the car is parking out. Then the radar sensors detect other cars approaching. Then an alert signal is given to the driver. If the driver doesn't respond, then the brakes are applied. Then we've got the blind spot monitor. Again, a good example for democratization. Here we use sensors. That is, the side assist can also be used in lower class segments. That is, the blind spots, left and right, are being monitored. And if I, the driver, decide that I want to change lanes toward the right, and although the system notices that there is another car approaching, then of course it will alert the driver, and later on there might be intervention by the system. Visual driver aid. Now this is the system which uses the projection system. That is, we want to give the driver some kind of assistance and show the driver where the car is on the road. Or in other words, that is, the driver is given information about the width of the vehicle, and the width of the vehicle is then projected onto the road. This means the driver knows exactly where to go. So if he moves into this construction site, then the driver will know where the car is, particularly in narrow lanes, or if there are other cars on the right or left side, then the driver can estimate or see whether or not he will be able to go through. Roadworks Assist, well, this is an improvement over lane assist, or we could say that object detection is much better because we've introduced the 3D camera. Lane assist today have to detect lanes, maybe using the white markers or markings on the road. Now in this case we can also detect objects. They can detect cones. They can also detect the peripheral or the surrounding situation of a construction site. This means that if the car drives through a different situation, then the car is still in the position to detect the situation. For instance, I've got ultrasonic sensors, and this means I can take into account information about these other cars as well, and then issue an alert, or I can even alert the driver and also help him to get away from the danger. Then car-to-X safety.
Dies umfasst verschiedenste Funktionen. Das sind die sogenannten.
And here I'm talking about the day one functions.
Du hattest ausgeschaltet.
So this is what we call the local hazard alert. This is warning against any rescue vehicles passing by or any vehicles involved in an accident, that is cars which are on the roads. So whenever you've got a danger or risky situation on the road, the driver is alerted to this fact. This is sent from the side to the vehicles following. And the vehicles can then say, well, we evaluate this information, there must be a danger or some risky situation behind the bend, behind the road. And this is something which you will see tomorrow. You will have, live experience of these features. Area view 2, again an improvement of the well-known area view. Here the picture quality is much better, and also information about the surroundings is much better, which means I can also show a trailer, I can also show vehicles passing by. So the bird's eye view has improved as well as the quality of the picture or the image itself. Park Assist 3.0. I must say that this is really the third generation of our excellent Park Assist system. It's been further developed over the years, and we've expanded its functionality. And now it is in a position to park the car when moving forward, and it can also park, as it says, in perpendicular parking spaces. For instance, if the car or if the driver is no longer in a position to move the car any further while moving into this parking space, then he can use this assist, and the assist will take over, will help the driver to get the car into the parking space. Another advantage is that whenever the driver is still having the foot on the accelerator, and there will be some function which will apply brakes automatically in specific situations. Remote controlled parking. We believe that this is also a very important function when thinking about urbanization. It is the possibility to park the car automatically using a remote control, particularly if parking spaces are very narrow, so I haven't got a chance to get out or into the car. We thought it would be a good idea to park the car using a remote control. We can use a smartphone, for instance. This is what we have in our mind, and everything that I need, that is steering and speeding up or braking down, all this can be done using the remote control. But nevertheless, all the sensors in the car are active, and they also will prevent me from doing any nonsense or playing around. So this is one of the functions of the sensors. Then we've got the trailer assist. We believe that this is a very advantageous function for all those pulling along trailers. Question, yes, please. Now, this function offers the possibility that I can use a joystick or control elements in the car to change the articulation angle of the trailer. That is, I show where the destination is, and the vehicle will then start steering the car and will make sure that I will reach this point. So I can say I want to reverse in a straight line, and then the vehicle will make sure that I will reverse in a straight line, and this includes the trailer. So I can also change angles, that is these articulation angles, and then the vehicle will take over and do the rest. This much by way of a short or brief overview of what's in store for you. These are again the proving grounds, and here you also see the various stations, that is which functions you will be able to experience, where all this is shown here. Thank you. Questions at this point? Any questions? Well, nobody seems to have a question, and I can assure you that all experts... Oh, there's a question. Yes, go ahead, please.
Don't know if I need a microphone or not to translate.
It's okay so. I don't get a translation, so.
Okay. I would like to know the Roadworks Assist you mentioned. How does it work? If you can give us a little more explanation about everything you use, because you said it is with
This one?
ultrasonic sensor. Which kind of sensor it is, and if you can give us more information.
You mean the ultraschall sensors in the side?
Yeah, ultrasonic sensor you put there, but I don't know which kind of sensor.
It's these are the same ones that we are using in the front and in the back. Es sind dieselben Sensoren, die auch.
So these are the same sensors which we use in the front, at the rear end of the car for other functions. So the same sensors. But you will find these sensors on the side of the car as well. Yes, but these sensors have got special technical features. I asked my colleague, between 80 and 100 kilometers per hour you can also get special information from these sensors, but maybe the experts from the electronics development department has got more information for you.
So first of all, the camera is detecting the lane and the shape of the lane. So that's the first thing. The ultrasonic sensors add information about the width of the lane. So if you are getting near to the left or the right corner or edge of the lane, you will get additional length momentum, the steering momentum to get you back into the track. Or if you are next to a truck where some people are scared because they don't think they will fit in between, the system will give you a very clear indication it will fit, and it will give you some guidance in the face of overtaking that truck. So it's the camera for lane detection. It's actually mostly the same as the lane departure warning. So we detect the lane, and then we use the ultrasonic sensors in the to the left and right to really detect the width.
But now, currently you are not using these ultrasonic sensors for the lane departure, for instance. You know that you are near or far from the lane without these ultrasonic sensors.
No, currently we are not using them for this purpose, but we are just developing that. And the other purpose we are developing it for is the blind spot detection, the low range detection of objects in your blind spot. So we actually increase the use of the ultrasonic sensors looking to the side.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Vielleicht eine Ergänzung dazu noch.
Just one comment. You know, in contrast to today's lane assist, the vehicles on the left or right side of your car are also detected, and this means my car will also protect it against cars on the right or left side of my car, so before we reach the, say, construction site. So this is the difference with today's road assist, which just looks ahead.
Are you developing all those systems alone in this house or in cooperation with Bosch?
In Kooperation mit Bosch?
In cooperation with Bosch? Well, that's a good question. I think it depends on the function.
On Bosch, and we find the same system.
Also in der Regel
So, as a rule, the functions which we develop ourselves, here we do not tie ourselves to just one manufacturer. We've got a cooperative effort, but we also try to use several suppliers. Bosch offers certain functionality, but that won't be a standard.
Okay.
Are there other questions?
Dankeschön.
Das scheint momentan nicht.
Right, it seems there are no more questions at this point, but as I said, you'll be getting more details about these systems tomorrow. In fact, you'll also get some practical hands-on experience. And tomorrow, you're going to split up in various groups. Check your name tag for the colored dot. That dot tells you which group you're in. And can I remind everyone, and this is really an important piece of information, there is absolutely no photography on the proving grounds. No photography, no filming, no videotaping, no cell phones with the cameras. Please leave them in the hotel. If you need any pictures taken, a photographer will be on site and he can make individual pictures for you if you so wish. Right, now it's time to have dinner. All of us will be available for your questions throughout the entire evening. So with that, have a pleasant evening. Thank you.